It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Let's talk about investing for 50-year-olds. This is assuming a 50-year-old that has done no saving before. They just woke up today and go, oh my goodness,
I got to start saving.
I got to start saving. Now, once again, they don't get to make what the 20-year-olds are making, because once you're in your 50s, you got to add a little more asset allocation, a little diversification. You got to cut the edge off of the volatility because you just don't have as much time to recover. So you might only be making 7% annualized per year. And so for the next 15 years, so you got from 50 to 65. So a 50-year-old that's saving $1,200 a month is going to have $380,000 by retirement.
You know what though? Okay, maybe with the $380,000 plus Social Security, maybe you have a pension. You still have something going on there. Yeah. And frankly, we've seen clients who have portfolios that size that are in a wonderful position because their living expenses fit into that box and that works. So,
but more likely, you're at some of your peak earning years, so you might be able to save $2,500 a month. I know that is a ton of money for my 20-year-olds, but a person who's 50 who's really serious, you are thinking about the scarcity of how fearful you are, so you're cutting left and right. Yep. If you were saving $2,500 a month for the next 15 years, you would have $792,000.
Getting close to that $1 million mark.
If you want to know what you would have to do for $1 million, because I know that's still that magical number, you'd have to save $3,155 a month.
Wow.
55-year-old, maybe, if you got 10 years to save, you're really panicking, still making 7% a year. If you did $1,200 a month, it's going to be worth $208,000 at retirement. If you put $2,500 a month in, it'd be worth $433,000. If you did that, remember I told you for 50-year-olds to get to millionaire status, you had to do $3,155. Right. For the 55-year-old, just the 5-year age difference, that number is only $546,000.
So saving the exact same amount at 55 that you would have saved at 50 only gets you halfway as far as it would have 5 years
earlier. A little
earlier.
Over half. So to save, now to get to a millionaire status in that next 10-year mark, you got to save $5,778 a month, close to $6,000 a month.
We're starting to get to maybe some impossibility.
That's close to $72,000 a year that's just devoting to retirement. Yep. So you better be in a pretty high income situation. This is also the age, Social Security is going to become an important factor, especially if you're behind. So and they don't send that. A lot of people don't realize government doesn't send you your Social Security statements annually anymore. You now are required to go to the Social Security Administration's website. That's ssa.gov.
That's right.
Go there. You can give some verification data and then pull your data points for what you will have in retirement.
Now, Social Security is one of those things, and this is where if you are trying to figure out when to take it, how to take it, make sure that you measure twice, cut once, because you don't want to make that decision wrong. A lot of folks think, as soon as I hit 62, I'm going to go grab my Social Security, I'm going to take that benefit, I'm going to get the money as early as possible. That may not be the best decision. If you're still earning income, then you might actually have your benefit reduced. Or if you need a higher lifetime amount to be able to cover, by taking it at 62, you may really increase your longevity risk of running out of resources.
I like people, I know at 62, you're like, hot dog, I get my free money from the government that I've been paying into my whole life. So it's not really free money. It's prepaid money that you put in, not earning much money.
That's right.
But the truth of the matter is, if you will defer it till at least full retirement age, and then maybe even consider, because once you hit full retirement age, if you just wait until 70, the government actually puts a compounding rate of 8% a year. You heard me say that for 50-year-olds, you're probably not going to get much better than 7. I can tell you 60-year-olds shouldn't be getting 8%.
That's right.
So the fact that the government compounds from full retirement age to 70 at 8% a year,
strong.
It's something you ought to look at, because if anything, it gives you longevity insurance protection that you might not outlive your money if you can push up that monthly payment that the government's going to pay you. So, Bo, kind of walk us through, what does the Fidelity research, what does the Bankrate, the NerdWallet, and the Investopedia research say for averages as well as how much you should have in your 50s?
So according to the Fidelity research, by the time you reach 60 years old, you should have 6 times your salary.
Okay.
This is where it gets a little unique though, because really by the time you get there and you start to see retirement and financial independence on the horizon, it should be customized to your financial situation. Maybe 6 times your salary works. Maybe it needs to be 30 times your living expenses. Maybe it needs to be some number less because of pensions and Social Security. This is where it really needs to start to be custom. You know exactly what your number is. The Bankrate article said that for those from 50 to 59, the average account balance is $174,000. NerdWallet let us know that the average balance was about $179,000, and then Investopedia said that those between 50 to 55 have saved an average of $125,000. None of those numbers sound to me like it's probably 6 times annual salary.
So a lot of people, because once again, America is bad about saving for the future, and that's just something we've known. So I would like to give some quick guidance on what some success indicators are for you, because you're probably trying to figure out, if you haven't hired a financial advisor, you're a do-it-yourselfer, what are some success indicators you can look at your retirement pot of money to know what does this mean for you? So the first one, we've heard this talked about. I want to give a little color to it. A withdrawal rate.
Yep.
A good one, good simple thing you could do is just a 4.5% withdrawal rate. It's a good spot check. So if you think about, now look, if you're a 30-year-old or 40-year-old that's listening to this, you don't just take your 4.5%. You'd have to take if you take what your money's worth now, grow it by what you think it's going to make from now until, say, 65 or 60, whatever your year of leaving is. So if you're 30 and you're retiring at 60, grow it for 30 years, multiply that number by 4.5%. That'll give you a spot check of what it could be worth. Now, it's not going to be adjusted for inflation, but at least gives you a good spot check.
Now, if you're a 30-year-old and you're one of those fire folks who thinks you might retire in your 40s or 50s, 4.5 might not be your number.
True.
You might need to be 3.5% because you have some longevity
The
concerns.
more decades that you're going to live on this money, the lower that withdrawal rate is. So, we have somebody we're talking to right now. If you're retiring in your 40s, that number probably needs to be around 3.5% because you're going to be living off this money. You don't want some downturn or unforeseen thing coming your way and derailing that, because once you take yourself out of the workforce, it's kind of a scary thing. So pay attention to those withdrawal rates. And just because you have a withdrawal rate doesn't mean that when the market's getting its teeth kicked in that you're still hitting the accelerator. I'm hoping that human nature kicks in, that you kind of trim a little bit off, take your foot off the accelerator in those bad years.
So you can take your total portfolio and you can multiply the withdrawal rate. That's one way to figure out your retirement income. Another great way to think about how much you need is what we call a living expense multiple.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. When you do this, we want you to take your living expenses, multiply them by 25, and that's a good kind of baseline. Now, realize, once again, this is assuming you're retiring at like a normal retirement age in your 60s, but reduce that, because a lot of you are going to have a little shock and awe. You're going to multiply that number of living expense by 25 and be like, holy cow, I'm nowhere near that. Remember, you can reduce that living expense number by what are you going to bring in from Social Security? What are you going to bring in from your pensions? Those things will offset what that living expense need will be, is assuming you're taking those into account as well as taxes. It will make it more reasonable.
So if you think your living expenses are $5,000 a month and you know that Social Security is going to be $1,000 a month and you know that your pension's $1,000 a month, you would take the difference, $3,000, and multiply that times 25. That would give you an idea of where your portfolio
you would do $36,000 times 25.
Right, yep.
Would give you, because that's just your monthly pool of $3,000 a month, but it definitely would give you a spot check of knowing what you have. And here's the last one, Millionaire Next Door formula. We like this formula, and Bo made a brilliant adjustment to it that we'll go over as well. But this is simple. You just take your age times your income and divide it by 10. That's going to tell you what the average accumulator of wealth factor should be. To be super successful, we want you to be a prodigious accumulator of wealth. So that's actually going to be 2 times that number.
That's right.
Now, all of you, because most people hit millionaire status when they're in their 50s. So a lot of you go look at that formula and go, this ain't for me because I've got student loan debt and other things. We made a tweak to the formula because we know this formula really is not that good for 20 and 30-year-olds, but we made an adjustment. What's that, Bo?
Yeah, so if you're someone who's under 40 years of age, what you would do is you would take your age times your income divided by the number of years until you get to 40 plus 10.
Yeah.
So again, that's your age times your income divided by 10 plus the number of years until you get 40. So if you're someone who's 31 years old, you would take your 31 years old, multiply it times your income, and divide by 19. 10 plus 9 years till 40.
So that one adjustment will help you, and you can see it's beautiful because as you get closer to 40, that goes back to the Millionaire Next Door formula, but it gives you the age and the time to let your assets start growing for you. So guys, hopefully you can see spot checking and looking at and comparing yourself to see where you are. I would, instead of paying attention to where my peers are and what those averages account balances, Those things should make you feel better about yourself because you're looking at it and going, man, people are way behind. Yep. What you need to be doing is taking those success indicators and making sure that you're going to have the retirement that you planned for. If you're one of those people, you have made great decisions and you're at the celebration point, we want you to consider taking this abundance cycle to the next level. Consider talking to, having, if you get to assets that you need to have somebody look over your shoulder, make sure you're doing things right. We'd love for you to talk to the family at Abound Wealth and the Money Guy. So reach out to us. It's moneyguy.com. You can go to the Contact Us page, aboundwealth.com. We have a Contact Us page. And then don't forget, guys, we have a subscriber count up here with YouTube. We want you to sign up by subscribing to our channel. Also, sign up for the notifications. Click that bell to let us know you're happy. And then don't forget to go to moneyguy.com. Give us your email address and zip code so we can get deliverables out to you, as well as let you know when we're going to be in your neck of the woods. Because hopefully we're going to take this on the road in the next 18 months or so. Anything else I left off?
No, I think you nailed it. This is awesome, and you guys, we just so value you allowing us to come here and share this information with. If you have something you want us to talk about, or something you want to tell us about, or something you want to get our take on, go out to the website moneyguy.com. You can ask us a question right there. That's where we get these topics from.
And by the way, we do a live stream every other Tuesday, and you're going to notice a lot of those Q&As are going to start showing up on YouTube as well. So get your questions in there. Come join us. It's a lot of fun. You also get to see behind the scenes and see what complete goofballs we are. So I'm your host, Brian Preston, Mr. Bo Hansen. We'll be back soon.